All right, welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Nigeria this lovely Wednesday morning, and we're moving on now. Time for us to take a look at the headline news on newspaper review just in a moment.
All right, I got Chukudi Okoli Abuja with us this morning. Chukudi, good to see you. Good morning.
Present, ma'am. Good morning. How are you?
Very well.
Claire, how are you doing too?
All right, thank you. Good morning, Chukwudi.
Good morning. Good to see you as well.
Yes, it's nice to be here again with you. All right, let's quickly. You have two papers.
Yeah, so let's lead this morning with the Blueprint newspaper, and of course the lead story it's on the Livestock Ministry, which is created by the President yesterday, and it reads, Livestock Ministry will develop economy, give our people hope, according to Tinubu. Riders says this is not politics, but a practice across West Africa. New ministry, a dream come true, according to Mieti Allah. And of course, we can see a picture right there of those that attended the meeting yesterday where the ministry was created. And away from that, we have no provision in Samoa compelling Nigeria to accept LGBTQ, according to NBA. The rider suspend implementation for proper investigation. Reps tell federal government. At the bottom of the front page of the Blueprint, we have NPAN, NPC condemn abduction of Blueprint, the nation's reporters. So many reports about journalists being attacked different ways, and of course we hope the trend stops. Just away from that, above the lead story, FG projects 18.3 billion naira from digital economy by 2026, and Nigeria's debt to GDP within World Bank and IMF ceiling. And that's according to DMO. So that's the March. Okay, finally this morning we have addressed current food crisis as an emergency. Senate charges federal government, and FG deploys 60 trucks of fertilizers to states. All right, swiftly looking at the leadership newspaper now. We have the lead story here. Also on the Livestock Ministry. Tinubu creates Livestock Ministry despite Oronsaya report. Interesting headline there. The rider heads Presidential Committee on Livestock Reforms alongside Atahiru Jega. Experts worried about funding for additional ministry. Nigeria targets less meat imports. Details on page 4. Above that, withheld salaries. Varsity workers protest. Say, we are hungry. Page 4 has that. By the way, how can a hungry teacher teach? And we have this one here. Shoba presents, all right, reps NBA differ on Samoa agreement. Federal government spent 7.7 trillion naira on debt servicing in 2023. And above the masthead, Ed Rufai, audited accounts show no 423 billion naira fraud, according to AIDS. And finally, Northwest Commission bill ready for Tinubu's assent, and that's according to the Senate. Claire.
All right, thank you, Ian. So let's look at New Telegraph. Almost all the stories read are also here, so I'll just pick out one or two. Headline news from the New Telegraph. Hardship, address food crisis to avoid Nigerians' anger. Senate warns FG on page 2. As nation's food reserves empty, says governors, MPs will share 2,800 trucks to farmers. And just a little above that, we hear reps ask FG to suspend Samoa Pact. OK bill for special seats for women in national and state assemblies. Details of these on pages 2 and 5. And CJN to inaugurate 22 more justices for appeal court today. And Osun State taps list of student loan application fund is also there. And of course, there's also the story on the creation of Livestock Development Ministry here. PMS, just above the nameplate, 13 vessels set to afloat 230.5 billion naira worth of products as landing cost hits 1,026.71 naira per litre, and reps prolonged queues at filling stations. Chukwudi Okole Ubaja.
Yes, ma'am. How are you today again?
Is the Senate just saying the obvious again? Hardship, address food crisis to avoid Nigerians' anger, or is it just for emphasis?
Stating the obvious, as one would like to put it, the point at the end of the day is, are we acting promptly enough to address these things? Could we have done it a lot earlier? Let's go to I'm going to tie two things together. Let's go to the creation of the Livestock Development Ministry. Now, the mainstay of the economy of the standard African nation is agriculture. Forget now that Nigeria has a cash cow called crude oil. That's a vanishing asset. The real thing that sustains life on the continent at the end of the day is agriculture. So you ask yourself, are we giving enough attention to agriculture? The ministry created will do many things. First of all, if it is run properly, there will be assurance that more food will come to us and we would be in a position to even start exporting. Secondly, Nigerians are going to have a situation where the farmer herder crisis will be indirectly addressed. Because by the time the herders know that some support is coming from you, I don't know whether that support will be in the direction of stop roaming with the cows and all that, I don't know yet. But whatever support comes, they're going to feel some kind of succor. And that succor is going to rub off on the relationship they have with the farmers they seem to be forever feuding with. So it is a very important step we have taken. Somebody said, where would the funds come from to fund the ministry? The thing is this, the other time I said, sometimes government provides some jobs to guard against restiveness among idle youth, because they've looked at the social cost of not engaging the youths. So when you spend funds to preempt trouble, it's not money that has gone the wrong way.
The question, sorry Henry, sorry about that. You've had a cup of
A drink of water?
Yes.
Will help. Good.
So the question some people will ask is, would setting up or establishing a full-fledged ministry, is it strategic? Is it the best alternative action? There was a time when some measures were thrown up, like the livestock transformation
Yes.
strategy and all that. So what do you think about a full-fledged ministry to address a part of the agricultural chain?
You call it a part, I call it a chunk. Again, it tells you where our minds are placing a rather important segment of our agriculture. I said initially that at the end of the day, Africa will be propelled by what it pulls, either from the breasts of a cow or from the soil in terms of crops and all that. So I see an elevation. How does government get its job done? Through MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies. So the ministry is the highest elevation you can give sorting out a problem. So I want to think it's a very good
I just hope we
action.
don't begin to hear calls for Ministry of Crop Development soon. Now that we have Ministry of Livestock Development, that will be the worry for some people.
Anyway,
No, let her.
yes, she just made.
Let me say this. Let me say this. There are certain things we engage in this country that amount to triviality. Do we have a need to work on livestock? Government could tell you this is actually our strategic way of telling herdsmen that yes, the Ruga thing did not quite work, but we have time for you as well. Look, when you sit in government, I haven't come here to promote government, but when you sit as a manager in an office, you begin to feel things that people out there do not feel.
Those
Anyway,
involved in crops will also give you reasons why they should also get
I
a ministry.
agree.
You know,
quite all right.
of course. So
I agree.
it's not like trivializing it.
Sorry. I think we should let that until I mean the ministry has been established
Let's not
already.
speculate.
They will come out with their roadmap or whatever. So when that comes out,
Yes.
things will become clearer. Again, the trending story is on the food crisis, the warning coming from the Senate, and we know that yesterday, of course, was it yesterday or a few days ago, the president had given directive that some duties be removed.
Very important step.
Yes, very
important.
so that is also part of the stress. But I'm saying, does Senate, emphasizing this, stressing this, does it give it some form of a force of action?
Well, it does give it some form of force because the Senate is the senior partner in the lawmaking body of this country. And let me say this. The Senate does not even need to tell the presidency certain things sometimes. All they need to do is to agree among themselves that we're going to make this law. All bills don't have to originate from the presidency, executive bill and all that. They could actually start something that compels the government to act on an issue. You understand? So the point is the Senate is acting in good faith because they too are part of the tripod you call the government of the country, the judiciary, the legislature, and the presidency.
All right. Of course.
Are you sure you can talk?
Yes, of course I can talk.
Please.
I must talk because this one concerns me.
I know.
I've been saving my breath for it actually.
It's okay. Talk
Yes.
on then.
It's
Talk
actually a bill to increase legislative seats for women, which passed second reading
I knew that
at
would
the
come.
House of Representatives. I already
I
ticked
knew
it on
that.
my paper, and
I knew that
I
would
wasn't
come.
ready to look at any other headline today apart from this one.
Actually, I should have known that I was facing a double barrel, project in feminism.
So just
No
to inform
It's
you,
clear and
just
Nigerian
to inform
duty.
you, just in case you were not planning to talk about it, so it's important that I bring it to your notice that the House of Reps yesterday passed for second reading a bill seeking to alter the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and provide for seat reservations for women in the National Assembly. I think that's a great step.
Nyere, jokes aside, the position of women in politics in Nigeria is an endangered one. They are endangered. The culture of Africa does not permit the woman all the space she needs to plant herself fully in politics here. So you need to take some action that actually cedes some space to them. I am not being sentimental.
Chukwudi, this is just a bill, so we appreciate. The
I know
House
it's a
of
bill.
Reps.
You have become prayer warriors
No,
so that it will eventually work.
No. It's it's something that the women have been on for a while, and it sits well with the gender advocacy for gender equality and all that, or equity, whatever it is called.
It's deserved.
But Chukwudi, thank you very
deserved.
much for coming. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. You're watching Good Morning Nigeria.